All right, today we're going to pull back the curtain on a place most of us know pretty well, but maybe don't really understand. The bar. Because there's a whole world of art and, yeah, a surprising amount of science that makes that whole experience work.
I mean, think about it. What really separates just a good drink from a truly great experience? It's a simple question, right? But the answer is so much more than just what's in the glass. It's a craft built on history, hospitality, and a whole lot of science happening right in front of you. So let's break it down.
So, to really get the art, you first have to understand the canvas. And in this case, that's the bar itself. It's not just a slab of wood or marble. Its design, and even its name, tells a story about why it even exists in the first place.
I just love this little fact. The word bar literally comes from the word barrier. I mean, how perfect is that? It's exactly what it is, that physical counter that creates a line between the person serving and the person being served. It's a name that's all about function, and it's been that way for centuries.
And oh man, that barrier has seen a lot of history. You've got places like Sean's Bar in Ireland, supposedly kicking things off way back in 900 AD. But the modern bar experience was really shaped by a few key moments. Like in 1767, when Joseph Priestley invented carbonated water, basically creating the foundation for every soda gun and tonic bottle out there. And then in 1933, things got official with the first real tavern licenses.
But let's be honest, a bar is just a room with furniture until you add the most important element, the person who brings it all to life. So let's talk about the true heart of the experience, the bartender.
Because look, anybody can learn to pour liquid in a glass. That's the task. The real art is crafting the experience. And the most valuable skills a great bartender has often have nothing to do with the shakers and spoons. It all comes down to the human connection.
It really all starts with their attitude. A great bartender is part entertainer, part guide, even part therapist sometimes. They have to have a great memory for names, for your usual drink. They have to know how to guide you to something new you might love. And they build trust with something as simple as good eye contact. This is where the magic really happens.
But all that amazing hospitality needs to be backed up by some serious technical skills. We're talking deep product knowledge, knowing every bottle behind them, being fast and efficient when it's 3 deep at the bar, and always being one step ahead, anticipating when the ice is low or a keg needs to be changed. It's a physically demanding job where even the simple act of pouring is a skill you perform all night long.
And holding all of that together are the absolute non-negotiables, the core of the craft. First, honesty. Never ever underpour or overcharge. Professionalism is key. You have to look and act the part. And cleanliness is everything. There's a classic industry saying, if you have time to lean, you have time to clean. It's a mantra. And of course, the most critical responsibility of all, never serving underage. Now, once you master all these skills, you start to see different kinds of specialists emerge. People who really focus on different parts of the craft. This is where you get the distinct styles of bartending.
You can almost think of it as 2 main philosophies behind the bar. On one hand, you have precision, the meticulous artist who cares about every single drop. And on the other, you have performance, the charismatic showman who cares about the energy and the spectacle.
This brings us to that classic debate. What's the difference between a bartender and a mixologist? Well, here's a simple way to look at it. A bartender is the ultimate host. They care about the customer's entire experience, the vibe, the conversation, the service. A mixologist, on the other hand, is more like a chef. They're obsessed with the drink itself, the quality of the ingredients, the perfect balance of flavors, the final presentation.
This quote just says it all, doesn't it? A mixologist cares about the drink. A bartender cares about the customer. It's not that one is better than the other. They just have a different focus. And of course, the true masters of the craft. They find a way to be both.
And then you've got the flair bartender. This is the person who takes the performance aspect and turns it into a full-blown art form. There's work flair, which is the small, stylish, efficient moves they do while making drinks. And then there's exhibition flair. That's the jaw-dropping, bottle-juggling spectacle you'd see in a competition. So whether you're a mixologist, a flair artist, or a classic bartender, you absolutely need 2 things: a huge library of knowledge in your head and the right tools in your hand. This is where the science really comes into play. This chart is basically the mental library every great bartender carries around. It starts simple, alcoholic or non-alcoholic. But then it just explodes into all these categories. You have fermented drinks like beer and wine versus distilled spirits. Then wine splits into still, sparkling, fortified. Seriously, mastering this entire universe is a lifelong journey.
And sometimes, the stories behind even the simplest things are just amazing. Take tonic water. It gets that bitter taste from quinine, which originally came from a tree bark and was used as medicine against malaria. Well, British soldiers in India had to take it, but they hated how bitter it was. So, to make it more palatable, they started mixing it with their gin ration, and just like that, they invented the gin and tonic, a classic cocktail born from medicine.
The science continues with the glassware. The right glass isn't just for looks, it's a functional tool. A champagne flute is tall and narrow to preserve the bubbles. A cocktail glass has a wide mouth to open up the aromas of the spirit. Using the right glass is a sign of a true professional who respects the drink they're making.
And how do you make that drink taste perfect, not just once, but 100 times a night? With absolute precision. A single shot, a double shot, even the bar spoon. These are standardized units of measurement. This isn't about being robotic. It's about guaranteeing consistency. So the drink you loved last week is the exact same one you're getting tonight.
Okay, finally, let's pull the curtain all the way back. The show you see during service hours is only possible because of a massive amount of work that happens when absolutely no one is watching.
Long before the first customer even thinks about showing up, the bar is humming with activity. This is the opening ritual. It's a step-by-step process of cleaning and sanitizing, checking equipment, and prepping every single fresh ingredient. Juices, syrups, garnishes. Every clean glass and perfectly cut lime is part of setting the stage for a smooth night. And then, after the last person leaves, the ritual starts all over again, just in reverse. The close isn't just about cleaning up tonight, it's about setting up tomorrow for success. Every tool is cleaned, every bottle stored, and, this is crucial, stock is counted for the next day's order. The job isn't done until the bar is perfect for the next person's shift.
So, when it all comes down to it, the bar is so much more than a counter. It's a stage, and the person behind it is this incredible blend of performer, scientist, and host. It's a craft that's completely built on this unseen foundation of preparation, performance, and professionalism.
Which really just leaves one last question. The next time you sit down at a bar, what are you going to see a little differently? Will you notice the sparkling clean glasses, the perfectly stocked fruit tray, or just the easy way the bartender moves? What parts of the craft will stand out to you now?